Hi, it's Liz at FortWhyte. Welcome to FortWhyte Alive at Home. We're so excited to share this virtual programming with you while you're staying safe in your own homes. So stay tuned. Your FortWhyte Alive host is up next to guide you on your next adventure.
Hi, I'm Owen Campbell and I'm the kitchen coordinator here at FortWhyte Farms, and today we're going to make a do-it-yourself Mr. Noodles in a jar. So this is a really fast and easy lunch that you can make for yourself, for your kids. Your kids can make it. It's super simple, lots of vegetables in it. It's really great for using leftovers too, and kids love it. So let's get started. So you're gonna use a mason jar. I typically like to use a 500 ml wide mouth mason jar. If you have smaller people and they eat smaller meals, you can always use a 250 ml jar, wide mouth as well. But I would cut the recipe in half if you're gonna use a half the size. So we'll use this one for today. So when you're making the ramen, you do want to build the flavors in the way that you will see in the recipe that you will get. So that is starting with flavor on the bottom. So that can be anything you want. I'm gonna put a little bit of sesame oil in mine because I really like the flavor. Sesame oil is strong. 1 or 2 drops is enough. So that's probably more than enough. I'm also gonna put a little bit of hot sauce in mine because I really love this crispy chili sauce. I'm just gonna put about half a teaspoon in there. It's not a very big jar. I also really love soy sauce, so I'm gonna put a teaspoon of that in. And that also adds a bit of salt, a bit of umami flavor. That. And then you can also put some stock in there. I like to use a powdered chicken stock. You can use cubes as well if you'd like. This is just a little bit easier to get in there. And you can use, or this is a vegetable stock. You can use chicken stock, you could use a seafood stock, you could use anything you like. So the next thing that you want to layer on top of your flavors are your fillers. So like a hearty filler, I'm going to put in some Swiss chard. We're also going to put in some carrots and some green onions, some radishes. So I'll start with the chard. Just break that in half, sort of roll it up a little bit. And then you want to cut things fairly small. It's just a mason jar, it's not very big. And you want to remember that you don't want the jar to be packed solid. You want a little bit of room in it because you're going to be adding water at the end to eat it. So I'm going to put these greens in there. Good. The rest of these will go in my compost. I'm going to put some carrot in there as well. If you put things in like carrot, which are a lot hardier than greens or green onions, you want to cut them as small as you can because they're probably not going to cook very well if they're too thick, because you're just going to be adding boiling water at the end to cook the noodles that are in there. So try and get them as thin as you can. Add in there. I also really like radishes, so I'm going to put some radish in there. I was lucky enough to find these radishes stored right now. Same thing with the radishes, you probably want them cut fairly small. Make sure that they get softened a little bit in your soup. And maybe just half of a green onion. I like to cut my green onion in half before I slice it, just so that the pieces are smaller, so that I'm not eating big chunks of onions once I actually start eating my soup. So, after you have those things in there, you want to add your noodles. So you can use any noodles you want. Today I'm going to use these udon noodles just because they're already a little bit soft, so they cook up a lot faster. But you could use spaghetti noodles. You could use these tiny little chicken noodles. You could use rice noodles. Any noodle you want. You could use leftover noodles if they're already cooked. If you make spaghetti, you haven't had the sauce on it yet, you want to use that, go for it. Did forget about my protein. So if you want to add protein, I'm going to add a little bit of tofu today and a little bit of hard-boiled egg that I've already got boiled up. So I'm just going to use half my egg. And you just want to chop it small. layer it on top of the greens that you just put into your jar. And maybe just a little bit of tofu for some extra protein. This is a great space to use leftover meats if you've got chicken left over from the night before, or even lunch meats. Put in ham or roast beef if those flavors go well with what you're making. They're great inside the soup as well. Some tofu in there. Now we're gonna put some noodles in there. So I am gonna take these out and just cut these in half. This is actually quite a bit. I'm gonna use about 3/4 of a cup, half a cup to 3/4 of a cup of noodles. These, because they're in a big square, they're a bit harder to get in, so I'm just gonna break them up a little bit. And you can break them up as you put them into the jar too, if you'd like. And then the very last thing in this is fresh herbs. So today I've got some mint. I think that's gonna go nicely in here. You could also put in some lemon slices or some lime slices or some lemon and lime juice. If you do put in lemon and lime slices or orange slices or anything like that, probably want to make sure you take them out after you've boiled the water and have them soak in there so that you're not eating them, but that's up to you. I'm just going to put some fresh mint on top. So any fresh herbs as well, basil, cilantro, parsley. That's it. And you just put your lid on it. Put it in the fridge. This should keep, especially if it's just vegetables, for about a week in the fridge. But the sooner you eat it, the better, of course. And you just want to add boiling water to it. Let it sit for about 2 minutes to heat up, and then you can eat. If you're using noodles that are dried noodles and not cooked yet, you probably want to let it sit a bit longer. But with these noodles, 2 minutes should be enough.
Thanks for tuning in, and really hope you enjoyed the program. A big thank you to the Province of Manitoba Safe at Home Grant, which allowed us to bring you these virtual programs. Make sure you check out FortWhyte.org for a lot more programs and activities. See you again soon.